told you this from the beginning. I will not spend the rest of my life hearing people whisper, "Did he do it?" behind my back.
Well, I'm gonna do that whether you win or lose.
And so is everybody else. All right, we're doing Lincoln Lawyer episode 9 today because I got to get through this dadgum season so I can get on to the next ones that are coming out.
I missed something?
My client wants to testify. Can't talk him out of it.
Isn't that like what you're not supposed to do?
It's like boxing. We won the fight on points, but my guy wants to brawl. Just have to convince him to play defense and not get knocked out.
You going in early? I'll take you.
No, you take yourself to that meeting. I'll drop you off at your car.
So that's a legit conversation that you have to have with clients a lot of times. They want to take the stand. They think it's going to be the very best thing for them because, of course, the jury wants to hear me say, I am innocent, right? But if you put the defendant on the stand, he doesn't have to testify, first of all. If you put the defendant on the stand, then he can be cross-examined. If he gets cross-examined, then of course the whole case can blow up. He can come across as extremely unlikable, and all of a sudden the jury just wants to put him away because they don't even like the guy. So the defendant testifying, really not always the best thing to do. Convincing them of that is a different story.
Shot young Wales first, point blank.
No.
And your wife begged for her life, but you killed her too, didn't you?
No.
Okay, so Mickey knows that he wouldn't actually get away with those questions. He didn't even actually, most of those weren't even questions. He was making statements, and he was allowing him to answer yes or no. But I mean, there'd be objections all the way through that. He wouldn't get rolling like that. But what he's doing here isn't actually telling him this is really what it's going to be like. He's giving him the worst case scenario. He's raking him over the coals so that he'll show him this is what you'll react, okay? I'm playing prosecutor right now, and this is what you will look like on the stand to the jury. We can't let them see that, is Mickey's argument.
I told you this from the beginning. I will not spend the rest of my life hearing people whisper, "Did he do it?" behind my back.
Well, I'm gonna do that whether you win or lose.
And so is everybody else. She's making a really valid point there. Testifying doesn't actually make you look better in the public eye, or it can make you look worse. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. He's convinced that if he goes up there and tells his story that everybody's going to know he's innocent. But if he gets found not guilty, the public is going to have their opinion anyway. So testifying, to me in this situation, no. Don't do it. Mickey's right here. Defendant's wrong. Convincing him of that is going to be very difficult.
10 minutes later, a block away. That is a hell of a coincidence, huh? We got you at the scene, Alvin. With your record, you're looking at life. However,
Could be looking at life even without a record. Life's always a possibility if you're charged with murder. Just FYI. I know that's in California. I don't know what it is in California. In Arizona, it's a possibility.
call my boss. Better yet, call Father Cruz at St. Lorenzo's. He signed for it.
The clever person. Yeah, never should have actually made that statement. Never should have made any statement. Should have taken the fifth and waited for his attorney, who should have told him, don't say a dadgum thing. But, you know, that's not what people do all the time. So, you know, he decided to be super clever and say, I can handle this myself, and talk a whole lot. And he just confirmed that he was near the site of the murder. Now, they already had his phone record, and you might be going, well, no, they already knew that. They didn't know that. They suspected it, right? There could have been another perfectly reasonable explanation. You know what? I left my phone in the delivery van, and it was on, and so yeah, it probably would have tracked to that location, but I didn't actually drive the van that evening. I was at home. So yeah, take the fifth. Don't say anything, because you might say something stupid.
You want to rebuild things, Mickey? You want me to trust you again? Then start by trusting me. Okay?
Nope.
What do you want from Miss?
That's why you don't take cases with your ex on the other side. Nope.
Holler. You got a minute?
His responsibility to take it to his client, by the way. If there's any offer of settlement, which a plea agreement is an offer to settle a criminal case, he has to take it to his client by the ethical rules. So, yeah, requirement to do so. Client's going to reject it. Clearly, everything that we've been told about this character is he's going to say absolutely not, and I'm going to testify, I'm going to take the stand, I'm going to show everybody how innocent I am. But, well, let's see what happens.
Mr. Holler, any more evidence to present?
Just have one more witness, Your Honor. Defense calls Trevor Elliott.
All right, I'm being nitpicky, but everything that we've been told about Mickey so far is that he would not react that way. He wouldn't say it that way. He's a freaking great attorney. He's great under pressure. He's confident. And instead he's going, oh, well, I guess I'll call my client to the stand. You know, sort of with this head hang low. No, he's going to stand straight up and say, absolutely, Your Honor. The defense calls Trevor Elliott to the stand with total confidence. That's who we've been presented with so far, and that's what a good attorney would do, because you don't want the jury to get the message of, I guess I have to call my client to the stand, even though this is a freaking terrible idea. Not going to happen.
What happened then?
Laura raised her hand and said that she'd made the same mistake. Made me feel better. Until I was walking past her desk and happened to glance at her screen, and she got the problem right. But that was Laura.
So great that literally for just a second there, I forgot that I was doing a reaction video. I was just watching this just for the quality of this freaking TV show. Really good line of questioning. All that he's doing is trying to personify his client to the jury, right? Because the defendant is sitting there and they are seeing murderer, okay? Regardless of how open-minded they are, they probably are already thinking murderer, okay? A lot of them at least anyway. So you have to pull them back from it, away from that, going, no, he's not actually a murderer, and then make him a real person. I'm a real person. I loved my wife. I would never do that. And that's all this line of questioning is about.
I went out there to fight for my wife, to try and save our marriage. Instead, I found them dead. Both of them.
People would not oppose a break, so Mr. Elliott can gather himself.
Unnecessary, Judge. Mr. Elliott?
What he means is, please, could we take a break from this? Because this line of questioning is going really well for the defense right now. So could we break up the momentum that he has built right now?
Mr. Elliott, you told the police that you and your wife had an argument the night before the murders. Is that correct?
Yes.
But contrary to what you told the police, you just testified that that argument was about her affair.
That's correct.
Now, you also told the police that you drove out to the Malibu house the next day to surprise Laura with a trip up the coast. Is that right?
Yes.
It's surprising how much one lie can do to destroy somebody's credibility on the stand. You don't ever want to tell the police one thing and then actually tell the truth up on the stand, or change your story, or whatever is happening. You don't want a different story than what has already been put on record, because people go, oh, if he's lying about that, why wouldn't he be lying about everything? And you're built out to be a liar. And it's, once again, why it's such a bad idea for the defendant to be testifying in this situation.
Your client opened that door when he testified that he had no experience with firearms.
I want my objection noted on the record for appeal.
Noted. The witness may answer.
Judge actually made a good decision there and cited the rules of evidence pretty well. So Mickey made a good objection, or at least tried at one. It was a good overrule. So yeah, that question's probably going forward, although I don't know exactly where he's going with this. Showing that he designed a video game that had firearms in it. I mean, he could have called in experts. He could have asked people, oh, what kind of guns are popular these days? There's 1,000 different explanations, but I don't know. Let's see where it's going.
Did your company own a Heckler & Koch 45 semi-automatic that was used as the model for this gun?
No.
Okay, so a search of your company's business transactions wouldn't reveal any such purchase?
No, it would not.
And the fact that it was the same exact gun.
Wait, we're in California. Do companies own guns out there? I'm pretty sure even in my home state of Arizona, companies don't own guns. People have to own guns. Trusts can own guns because they have trustees, But a company owning a gun, a company purchasing a gun, I don't think so. That'd be a fascinating little turn of events, especially for California. But all right, where's this going?
I'll withdraw the question. Nothing further, Your Honor.
A couple episodes ago, we saw Mickey get an idea into the jury's head, and I made a comment about it on one of my videos, and it went up on TikTok and went viral, that I said, you can't forget something that you've already heard, right? And now the prosecutor's using the exact same strategy, asking questions, putting ideas in the jury's head. In fact, he's done it several times now, and as soon as Mickey objects, he just says, oh, withdrawn, right? So that we don't have to do anything about the question. The judge doesn't even have to make a rule on it. He's already got the idea in their head. I was actually surprised how controversial that idea was. Some people actually insisted that they can forget a thing that they've heard and not allow it to affect their judgment. Congratulations on being superhuman. I can't, and I think most of the people that were commenting on that also could not. But, congratulations, superhumans. That's awesome.
Simply put, Trevor Elliott is guilty. If common sense and logic are your guide, there is no other conclusion. Thank you.
Little brief for a closing argument, only went over a couple of points of evidence and attacked the defense case. That was probably the best part, was that he knows that the defense is going to go up there and remind them, this is what you heard. You heard that there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for why he was covered in gunshot residue, and sort of recap their whole case. So he's poking holes in the defense's case before they even get up to make their closing statement. So, all right, see how Mickey counters that.
Yeah. My daughter is taking algebra, and she hates it. She hates it.
Personifying himself to the jury again. Opening arguments. Actually, no. Jury selection. He's up there talking about his daughter. Closing arguments. He's starting talking about his daughter. I'm a real person. I'm not just a robot that has been defending this guy because I got paid to. I'm a real person, and you should identify with me, and you should like me.
And that brings us to the gun. Now, Mr. Golan says that this cartoon weapon is somehow proof that Mr. Elliott must have owned a gun like this.
Might have also pointed out right there, if it was a fact, that none of Trevor Elliott's clothes were ever found with any blood on them. So even if he had cleaned up, there's no evidence of that.
I am confident that you will return a verdict of not guilty. Thank you.
Closing argument. He went back over all of the evidence that was on his side, with the exception of the stuff that the prosecutor thought he was going to point out, the gunshot residue. He's probably going, I pointed that out well enough. You can try to poke holes in it, but it's not going to work. He went back over all the stuff on his side and then presented something that we had learned from here and learned from here and learned from here and learned from here, but hadn't brought all together yet. The mathematical possibility of how could he have pulled that off. Freaking great closing argument. Just let everybody go at the same time. No all rise for the jury. Let the jury out. I don't know how it goes in California. That's how it would go in Arizona.
I did what I had to do. Yes, I did it, Tanya. I did it to protect us, to protect our baby. Now enough.
It's okay. It's okay.
I forget if she's just a girlfriend. Better be hoping she's just a girlfriend, because otherwise spousal privilege. I mean, they've got the recording, but he can say, yeah, I told that to my wife during our marriage, and it was told in confidence. The privilege belongs to him, so he can say it's not brought up in court. But if I remember right, I think she's just a girlfriend. She's not a wife, so the spousal privilege doesn't exist. So, hey, one legal reason to get married instead of just staying, boyfriend and girlfriend your whole life.
You know the secret to a successful video game? You have to keep the player engaged. You have to curate their reality. And right now, all this...
Holy cow, okay, so a big twist there at the end.
This is my reality.
That's one thing you're good at, Trevor. Making it look real.
But I got to tell you, I've gotten sucked in. I've gotten sucked in by clients before, and I've never done murder cases. So, I mean, I don't do, you know, high-level super violent crimes or anything like that. But you'll still have clients that'll come to you and swear up and down their innocence, and they come across really believable. And then you get the police reports and you come to them with it, and they'll try to deny some things. And then you get, like, say, the blood toxicology, and they'll try to deny some things. And then you just go, when are we going to level? And then finally they go, okay, well, here's what actually happened. Never had one after trial before. So that one is, that's new. But I can identify with him for these moments where the client actually comes to you and goes, okay, yep, I actually did that. Never had one confess to a murder before because, like I said, I don't take those cases. But yeah, that was real to me, but at least sorta. Solid episode. Surprised it wasn't the finale. There's still another episode this season. Crazy. Go check out the Lincoln Lawyer playlist. It keeps getting longer. Finishing up season 1, well, next time. So should be along in the next week or two after you see this video. All right. Thanks, and we'll see you then.